I had a number of grandparents who experienced vision loss in their later years. And when I was a kid, I was really fascinated by this book called To Catch the Wind, which was about a person that lost their vision. And so I was kind of always interested in what people experience when they're facing vision loss. And I was in college and applying to medical school, and I had no idea that I even really wanted to go to medical school, but ended up going to med school and didn't really know what I wanted to go into. But my first rotation as a third year medical student on the wards was a surgical specialties rotation, where we spent my very first week on a clinical rotation was in ophthalmology, 1 week in ophthalmology. And I was fascinated. I thought that it was so beautiful and interesting and important. I learned about some of the diseases that my grandparents had experienced, and I thought how powerful and meaningful to be able to take care of people who were facing that challenge in their lives. And then I spent the rest of my year trying to find something I liked as much, and I was not successful. So I ended up pursuing ophthalmology as a career. And I had also always kind of been interested in research. So research was an important part of my medical school journey, my undergrad journey. It just keeps me interested. I like solving problems. I like solving puzzles, and I like working with smart people. So it was a very nice complement to keep everything constantly new and exciting, and always being working with smart people to try and push the field forward has always been very exciting to me. Very fortunate to work with some very smart people who are leaders in the field of retinal imaging, and have been really lucky to work with some people who use special techniques to look at the retina with high resolution. The technique is called adaptive optics. It's a really unique way to look at vision cells or photoreceptors, cone photoreceptors, in the eyes of living people. And these are cells that normally we can't see with most of our imaging technology tools, but this is a very special approach that allows us to see the vision cells with high resolution. My area of interest is inherited retinal degenerations, where people are born with mutations that cause their vision cells not to work properly and eventually to die. So to be able to look at the little microscopic vision cells in the eyes of patients that are affected with these diseases is really powerful. So I'm involved in a number of different research projects. I'm using that technology to look at the photoreceptors in patients with retinal degenerations. When I was a second-year resident in ophthalmology, my residency program director at the time, Susan Carter, had a very interesting patient with a condition called solitary fibrous tumor of the orbit. And she said, we should present this at ARVO. I didn't know what ARVO even was, but we worked together to put together this poster. And someone said to me, there's this great meeting happening where your poster's being shown. And I said, oh, okay. I didn't know I was supposed to also go to the meeting. So I went to the meeting and walked up and down the aisles of the areas that I was interested in, which was retinal diseases. And I was able to meet people whose papers I had read, who were standing there next to their posters with nothing better to do than talk to me. And they were so excited to tell me about their project. It was like reading 10 papers in a day, but having a chance to really interact and engage with the people actually doing their work, who had been my heroes for such a long time. It was just a magical experience. And I have come to ARVO every single year since, I believe. And this was in 1998. So I'm a longtime fan of ARVO. Wow. In 2005 was the time when I had been working with my mentor on my K grant, Matt LaVale, who is a leader in photoreceptor structure for many years. And I'm a clinician, so I was using that technology in his lab to understand animal models of the diseases in the clinic. So I came to ARVO in 2005 and met a person that was soon to become my long-term collaborator, Austin Rhoda, who was showing this new technique to look at photoreceptors in people, which allowed us to see the cells I was looking at under a microscope in animal models. pulse only in live people without hurting them in any way. And I thought, that is incredible. So I went up to him and introduced myself, and he said, well, I just moved to Berkeley, which is right across the bay from where you work, so you should come over. And that really began a almost 20-year relationship collaborating with my colleague Austin Roberta, and also introduced me to the retinal imaging community. ARVO definitely played a major role in influencing my career in that way. I think one of the things I've enjoyed for many years is the breakfast with the experts. Had that opportunity to sort of, in a very low stakes, low stress kind of way, members in training are connected with a professor, faculty member, expert of some sort in an area of interest. I was hosting a table on ophthalmology residency programs for many years, and it was a really great opportunity to get to know people who were considering clinician scientist paths, were thinking about how to balance their research with their clinical community or clinical work, and which kinds of ophthalmology residency training programs might be most appropriate for them. I would say I think that's one of the highlights of my volunteer service, was meeting with future colleagues in the field of ophthalmology and giving them some of my, telling them about my experience and finding out how I can be of help to them. I think that ARVO provides you with an opportunity to interact with people that are interested in the same thing that you're interested in. Maybe they have a technique or a tool or an approach that you don't know that that could really benefit your research. Or maybe they are interested in pursuing the same kind of project you are from a different perspective, or with a different group of individuals, patients, or models. So this is the place to connect people who are interested in the same kinds of things that might be located on different sides of the globe, or might be located down the street that you just never had a chance to meet before. So I think it provides really amazing networking opportunities in order to introduce you to different things that you might not be at all aware of that might really help your career.